It's an interesting thing that happens when your illusion is shattered. You may be living in a life in an illusion and be a bit delusional about that illusion and not even realize it. You can live for years this way. Years. And not even know it. I'm about to be 39 years old next month, and I have lived my entire adult life in an illusion of love. Of what I thought love was supposed to be, of what I thought love looked like, of what I thought it meant to love somebody. And I actually am realizing after my illusions are being shattered about this love, because I've recently experienced a very, I don't even know what word to use, an interesting type of a breakup that I was able to self-reflect quite a bit in this relationship and really truly see how my passion, my desire, my fantasy for having that love of my life, that one eternal flame, that one person. Sorry if you heard all those noises. I was driving right now. So the thing with this relationship that I just recently had to let go, all the self-reflection that I did, I was able to see how my illusion caused my behavior to be the way that it was, which then triggered his behavior to be the way that it was. All this self-reflection and, it really did shatter this illusion that I had built up around myself. And what had ended up happening over the years is that I actually developed a love addiction. I read a book a couple months ago about love addiction, and love addiction forms when a child, is abused or neglected by their main caregiver. And then oftentimes the child will latch onto somebody else, usually a grandparent, and to get their love from, and then they get almost too much love, or then that person goes away. And so basically what happens is that more often than not, it's probably women who grow up with this love addiction. And what happens is we are always, I know for me, I was always looking for the person that made me feel safe and the person that I thought I could feel love from. So as soon as somebody offered any kind of attention, showed me any kind of attention, a twinkle of an eye, anything, it caught my attention. And within days, I would be thinking I'm in love with this person. Within weeks, I would already be telling this person that I was in love with them, and truly believing it within myself, truly believing, and this was the illusion, is that I truly believed that I was in love all of these instances. And the most interesting thing about it is that love addicts attract love avoidance. Now, love avoidance are created because they were most likely loved on too much as a child. Most oftentimes is a boy loved on too much by his mom, who was given way too much attention. So the mother directed all of her needs for affection towards her child, which ends up making this person grow up as a love avoidant, so that as soon as so what's interesting is this person that I was just with, days after we had broken up, there was a moment that we were talking, and he made the comment, he's like, I just don't understand it. Girls are always like all over me and just like loving me and wanting me like all right away. And he's like, it's just too much. And all I could think about while I was sitting there listening to him talk about this is I was like, wow, you're a love avoidant. Like I was able to see it. I could see how it played out, and I understood it in a more clearer picture, as if I was watching somebody else's life on TV. And you know how you always know that the girl's not supposed to run upstairs, and you're yelling at the TV, no, don't do that. But they can't hear you. right? Because it's a movie. Well, that's kind of how life is for us when we're trolling along, just doing our own little thing. And we don't realize that, our higher self, other people are around us, like yelling at us, like, hey, don't do that. Don't go in there. We're like, do. And we do it anyways. And then we're like, oh, why'd that happen? Oh, well, it was because, first of all, we didn't heed the warning that was around us. Secondly, it was because we acted on impulse. And, it very well could be because of these addictions. Now, I may not have any drug addictions. Thankfully, one of the good things that came from my childhood was that I watched hardcore chemical drugs destroy lives as I grew up, and it kept me away from it. But there are different types of addictions, and there is this love addiction. And I'm seeing how this love addiction has created this illusion in my life, and now this illusion is shattered. Now I see the truth. Now I see how I was attracting these people into my life. And the crazy thing is now I'm questioning whether or not I've ever truly been in love with somebody. Like really, truly in love with somebody. I've felt love for people. I feel love for everybody. There are different types of love. But that kind of love that I always wanted, that one that I fantasized about, that one with the guy that adores you and loves you and, you're best friends with and you want to grow old together. That relationship. I've talked about it with people. The idea has been there, but here I sit at almost 39 years old, still alone and dealing with a breakup again right now because of this love addiction. Because of being blinded by love, I allowed so many things to transpire and take place within each relationship I've ever been in because I've been understanding, because I've been compassionate, and because I was a love addict and I didn't want to let go of that attachment. And now that this illusion is shattered, I feel free. That's what's so amazing is I actually feel freed from it. Like that chain is broken. That addiction is gone. Is it gone? I don't know. You know what? I quit smoking cigarettes cold turkey. I had tried for years and years to continuously. I was always trying to quit smoking cigarettes and always for the wrong reason, always for someone else, always for something else, even for spiritual reasons, all kinds of crazy things. And then all of a sudden, one day, I realized it had more control over me than I had over it. And that alone pissed me off inside enough that I have not picked up a cigarette since. I've not had one single puff off of a cigarette. That was October 14th, 2014. So, thank you for any of you who just said congratulations to me. If any of you are smokers, it's possible. You just got to do it and want it for yourself. And I believe that all addictions are like that. It's a mind over matter and we can control it. We can overtake it. Now, sure, yeah, there's some physical addictions you're going to symptoms you're going to deal with. But that's the thing is that you've just got to ride it out. You've got to deal with allowing yourself to deal with what it's going to take to leave one life behind and start a new one, because that's exactly what breaking an addiction is. It is leaving one life behind and beginning a new one. And in order to do that, you have to go through a grieving process, just like if somebody were to pass away. If an old life is gone, if a person is no longer in your life, these are all things that need to go through the process and the stages of a grieving process in order to fully let it be done. You need to let that thing be dead to you so that you can never go back to it again in order for you to move on. If you truly want this and you're successful with it, that addiction will not haunt you afterwards. I'm not haunted by cigarettes, and they say cigarettes are just as hard to quit as heroin. When I made that conscious decision within myself that I was done, I didn't need the nicotine patch, I didn't need the gum, I didn't need anything other than to put the cigarette down and follow through with the choices I made for myself. And that's what I'm doing now with this love addiction. And that's, it's just, it's so liberating to see through the illusion that I had created for myself, most likely stemmed from childhood where this illusion began, and it just built upon and continuously just built upon it more and more and more and more until, finally I'm seeing it. And we can either choose to walk away from things that no longer serve us, or we can allow ourselves to just say, oh, well, that's just how I am, and that's just the way that it is, and allow yourself to be that way and continue to live your life miserable if you're miserable. But, the thing is that it's more than just realizing. It's more than recognizing. It's taking action. It's doing things in your life to make that thing dead to you, whatever it is, whatever addiction you're fighting, whether it's drugs, alcohol, love, anything like that. Anything that you've been trying to lay to rest, now is the time to do that. Now is the time to lay all of that to rest. Tomorrow is a full moon, and we have a perfect opportunity anytime you're listening to this. It's not just this full moon, but specifically right now, I'm just saying this particular time in January right now, it's the perfect time. Cosmically, everything, the energies, everything is aligned to be on your side to help you through this. You are not alone in this. Tap into your higher self. Find your spirituality. Find that heaven within, the God within. Seek the truth within yourself. Don't be afraid to see the truth of the illusions within your life, and then don't be afraid to take a stand and shatter them. And then you're going to have to clean up all the shards and dust yourself off and become what you were if that illusion had never taken place. I bring these things with you today in light and in love, my friends. Namaste.